Oh, hi. I was sent here to tell you about a new technique called entropy monitoring. You can now monitor the effects of certain anesthetic agents by measuring the EEG and facial muscle activity. Just follow me, and together we'll see what entropy is all about. Okay, beam me up. Well, here we are inside the brain. Now look up there at the cortex. That's where the EEG gets its final shape. You can tell this patient's awake by how complicated all this activity looks. It's almost like a thunderstorm. And just like the weather, it changes. For example, during anesthesia. Right underneath me is the brainstem. The seventh cranial nerve starts here and eventually goes over there to the facial muscles. We all know the facial muscles react to painful stimuli. Let me show you something. Watch what happens when I squeeze this nerve. Oops, sorry. But did you see that response? And did you know these responses can be recorded even with moderate levels of neuromuscular blockade? Hey, now let's watch them put on the sensor. The entropy sensor has just been applied. You can see the position on the patient's forehead. There's the sensor. You can see it's positioned so it picks up both the EEG as well as the electrical activity of the facial muscles. Let's look at these signals a bit closer. From the sensor, we get both EEG and facial muscle EMG signals. Cortical EEG dominates in this low frequency region, whereas facial muscles contribute to the higher frequencies. You may be wondering how this information helps us to track anesthesia. To find out, just follow me. Don't tell anyone, but I'm going to take you inside the entropy module to show you how the signal is analyzed. Not many people have seen this. Here we are inside the entropy module. Let's take a look around. Over here, the signal from the sensor comes into the module. These windows let us look at the signal as it flows through the module. Remember, this is the signal that contains both EEG and facial muscle activity. The first step is to get out all the extra stuff, such as ECG signals and diathermy artifacts. Once the artifacts are removed, the signal goes into this frequency transformer. It separates the signal into frequencies that make it up, starting with the slower frequencies down here, which come from the cortical EEG, to the faster ones originating from the facial muscles. This top pipe contains the highest frequencies, which are originated from the facial muscles. The faster frequencies can be analyzed quicker, so you get the information faster. This is the key process right here. Entropy is a measure of the complexity of a signal. An irregular signal has high entropy. A simple sinusoidal signal has low entropy. This is important, as it has been shown that the EEG becomes more regular as the patient is anesthetized. See, that's pretty simple. These engines use the signals from the transformer and calculate the two entropy parameters, response entropy and state entropy. The state entropy is derived primarily from the cortical EEG and may provide a stable indication of the hypnotic state. The response entropy uses the added information from the facial muscles found in the higher frequencies. The facial muscles are connected to the deeper structures of the brain and react very quickly to such things as a noxious stimulus. So the RE may be an indication of a response to a stimulus. Let's take a look inside. And here you can see how it's all done. It's a straightforward entropy calculation, and you can work through the details if you like. Let's take a ride. Once the RE and SE are calculated, they are sent to the S5 monitor for integration and display. Here we are in the S5 monitor control room. As you can see, there are sections for every parameter. This is where all the measurements are collected to be displayed on the monitor screen, according to the user's wishes. That's how we display the entropy calculations. The RE is shown in orange and the SE in white. Since the patient is awake, the muscle activity makes the RE a bit higher than the SE. The numbers, trends, and also the raw EEG waveform can be shown along with other information on the display. Hey, they're about to give anesthesia. Let's see what happens. Look, here comes the anesthetic gas. See how the brain's activity becomes more synchronous? We can detect these changes by looking at the EEG. As our patient gets anesthesia, we can see that the EEG is getting more regular and more rhythmic. Look how easily you can see the changes in the SE and RE as they respond to the induction. Since there isn't much facial muscle activity, they both track each other.
The heart rate is slowing. I think the anesthetics are taking effect.
They think the patient may be getting deeper, but we know he is, now that the entropy measurement helps us to assess the effects of anesthetics on the electrical activity of the brain and facial muscles. And in this case, we can see the advantage of calculating two numbers instead of one. The RE responds quickly, down to 2 seconds, to spinal level reactions. If the RE value rises suddenly above SE during general anesthesia, we may use this as an indirect signal of the subcortical activity. So, entropy measures the effect of the anesthetic agent in the central nervous system. When we combine this information with the monitoring of other vital functions, we'll get a clear picture of the patient's well-being during surgery. That was fast. The surgeon is already closing, and the anesthesiologist has turned off the anesthetics. Both RE and SE values start to rise. Rapid rise in RE is a sign that the patient is about to wake up. To me, all this is very exciting. And what's best is that by using this measurement, we can monitor the effects of the anesthetics right where they are working, the brain. I hope you have enjoyed this journey with me, and I hope it's increased your interest in entropy. See you later.